Star Wars fans are hypocrites, and this comes as a surprise to no one. There's a common sentiment I've come across when I talk about Star Wars with people in real life and on the internet. They all say something along the lines of, Star Wars isn't what it used to be, the new stuff is bad, or, ooh, the new stuff is alright, I'm just tired of Star Wars. Which would then lead them into, they should make something that doesn't focus on the Sith versus the Jedi for once. People say they want some grown up and mature Star Wars. Star Wars that's gritty and morally gray. These kind of people make me want to take 40 Benadryls. Because when we get exactly that, you know what happens? I go on possibly the worst website on the internet. The only place here in hell that might be worse than Reddit. Twitter. I go on Twitter and I find memes like this.
What are you, stupid?
Yes.
I'm just dumbfounded. From the first episode of this new show, Andor, I think to myself, wow, this is actually decent. The way Cassian Andor shoots that cop after he kills the other one by accident?
That's cool.
This is cool. I was not expecting much to begin with. By the way, this video will be talking about episodes 1 through 6, and maybe 7, as that's what's out at the time of writing and editing this video. But wait, says the 5 consistent viewers of this channel, my true audience, my gems, my gods. You're talking about Andor right now? What about Kenobi? Or Book of Boba Fett? When are we getting a video talking about The Mandalorian Season 2 that you promised us like 2 years ago? I don't know. How about when you fix this damn door? Is this an official review video, or is it more so talking about the issues plaguing Star Wars at the moment? Like that Mandalorian video I made so long ago, it's a little bit of both. Because there is a lot of good stuff in this show, and I want to talk about it. Spoilers, you've been warned. Unlike some others around here,
No mysticism to the show whatsoever. I don't think they even mentioned the Force. Also found it to be incredibly boring.
I like that Andor doesn't all revolve around people swinging their laser swords and mowing down waves of faceless, incompetent drones.
It feels like the male fantasy.
I like that our protagonist in this is neither a Jedi nor a Sith. He's not even an insanely popular character or riding the clout of one. He's one of the main characters of a moderately good spin-off movie while not being the main character. And that's indicative of something this entire series has going for it so far. The stuff in it is recognizable enough as Star Wars while not relying on the tried and true nostalgia and clout almost every other piece of Star Wars media has since the original trilogy. Cassian Andor is just good enough a character from Rogue One to have a show made about him, but not too popular as to make everyone hyped beyond their mind at the mere mention of his name. Boba Fett. I'm sure no one was really asking for a show starring the number 2 from a movie made just to fill in the plot holes from the first entry in the series. And this show so far has succeeded in fleshing out Cassian as a character. From the first few episodes, we see him make mistake after mistake. And they aren't just dumb mistakes either. They are mistakes that are reasonable given his disposition and the context around him. And then his reactions to those mistakes and his actions thereafter are dictated not by what the plot wants, but by what he, Cassian Andor, would do in that situation. Let's look at an example. During episode 6, Andor and a team of rebels he joined raid an Imperial base to steal credits for the rebellion. These rebels are a tight-knit group that spent months living together in squalor planning this raid. He joined at the last minute and bonded with them. He got to know them over the course of a few days leading up to the event that would give them the cover to escape, should their mission be successful. He joined mainly for the money, but deep down he does hate the Empire and wants to fight them. After he proves himself instrumental in their success, he takes an injured crewmate to get surgery before offloading the goods to get paid. While waiting outside, he kills one of the rebels that flirts with the idea of taking the ship and the loot, splitting it 50-50. He then takes his cut and leaves. The guy he kills doesn't even seem all that serious about abandoning the others and taking the money. To me, it seemed more like he was testing Andor to see if he was loyal to the cause. Sure, the guy's unhinged, but killing him seemed unnecessary since he stated he doesn't even know how to fly a ship. He couldn't have gone anywhere if he was serious. But Cassian Andor kills him anyway because that's what would make sense for his character to do. He was looking for an excuse to off this man. He cares just enough about the rebellion to kill the man to possibly prevent him from stealing the money that they just stole, but not enough to officially join at that point. He's a morally complex character, written in a good way. Another really good character so far is Karn, played by Kyle Soller, a deputy inspector, aka cop, that goes after Cassian Andor after he suspects that there was more to the deaths of the 2 other cops in the first episode.
But they were murdered.
He's one of those characters that has massive snitch energy. He's a teacher's pet willing to do anything to get a cookie from the principal. He's technically doing what's right, but he's doing it in the name of trying to look good and move up the ranks. In the name of trying to serve dogged justice and impress people that perpetuate a bad system. He too is morally complex. And I can't wait to see where else his character goes. This is what Andor is about. Good guys doing bad things. Our good guys have been doing bad things all throughout this show so far, and it takes those things seriously. It feels serious. People actually die. Take a look at the rise of Skywalker. Rey uses Force lightning to destroy a ship that Chewie is supposedly on. This is one of our good guys doing a bad thing, but it doesn't work like it should. This action isn't within Rey's character as she's portrayed. It doesn't make us buy her turning to the dark side. She does it by complete accident. Even worse, the action has no consequence, as Chewie is shown alive and in another ship just a few minutes later. In Andor, we see the rebels, the good guys, take hostages, including an innocent child. And when they did that, I took it seriously because of the actions they have taken up to that point. Now, I'm not saying this show is perfect. At the end of the 6th episode, we see Stellan Skarsgård's character, a rebel leader, go to the back of his shop and laugh out loud like a supervillain to himself. This is some grade A cringe that I should have seen coming given that this is Star Wars. But up to that point, this series is remarkably solid. It leads me back to the main thesis of this video. Why? Why in the world are people saying they don't like this show? Why are they saying it's boring? Could it be the action? I don't think so. The action and gunfights aren't bad, especially the one in episode 6 when they are trying to escape.
You're off your post, Corporal.
Sorry, sir, but
This is a classified mission and you're not cleared to be here.
It's tense and thrilling from the moment the rebels are caught with their pants down trying to load the getaway ship. Yeah, the show leans into drama, mostly, but it's good drama. I admit there's more talking and not a lot of whoosh whoosh, pew pew.
my powers have doubled since the last time we met, Count.
There's a place for that, and this show ain't it. This is the gritty, drama-driven Star Wars that you asked for, that doesn't lean on fan service and nostalgia and bullshit.
Think!
Star Wars isn't what it used to be. The new stuff is bad. Well, here's the new stuff, and so far it's good. I can't wait to see how these characters are developed further down the line, in the rest of the episodes or the next season if there is one. Especially Karn. After his plans to arrest Andor fail, we see him get fired and go live with his mom, having to completely start over now that his career is in shambles. Will he learn from his mistakes? Will he continue to pursue Andor? Either way, I think it will be worth the watch, given that this show seems to know what to do with itself and what direction it wants to go. A good strength of this show is fleshing out the universe on film, because not everyone is willing to read or watch the cartoons, even though most of them are good. In this show, we see characters like Mon Mothma actually do things. Usually when she showed up, I would ask myself, what even is a Mon Mothma? What is she doing here? What is this weirdly dressed woman? So far, we see that she has a family, including a kid and a husband. Will she sacrifice them to help the rebellion for the fate of the galaxy? We already see the tension between them, and we already know that she will be caught as a rebel sympathizer at some point.
Don't do this again.
In episode 7, Cassian gets arrested by chance and sentenced to jail. His time is increased from a few months to 6 years for basically no reason. He doesn't even get a fair trial. This is a true aspect of fascism that I don't see explored in other Star Wars media. Now, I know there are some people that do like this show. I just can't escape the feeling that it's not getting the respect and hype it deserves. Well, anyway, I'm just excited to see what will happen because this show isn't afraid to kill some characters. Conclusion. In conclusion, Andor so far has been a surprisingly solid piece of Star Wars content. It's that Star Wars show that gets away from the usual fare of Jedi versus Sith, but it's still close enough to the main stories to be a worthwhile watch for fans. If you're watching this video and have not given Andor a chance, I suggest you do. You'll be glad you did. It's the Star Wars you've been waiting for. And if you're one of the people that have been watching it and say it's boring, I ask you these questions. Have you actually been paying attention, or do you just not like Star Wars? If so, that's okay. I understand. You don't have to like Star Wars. It's fun to hate on things. But sometimes we need to sit back and let ourselves enjoy. Leave what you think about Star Wars fans in the comments below. I want to see what other people think about this whole topic. Or just let it be known if you like Andor or not. I hope this video got at least one person to give the show a chance. I'll see you next time. Drink some water, stay warm in these coming winter months. Have a good one.